everybody. So we are in Spanish Harlem, right? And because my husband knows a little bit more about Spanish Harlem, I figure I'd let him do the talking more in this video. So I guess it's gonna be whenever you want to start, you can start talking if you have anything in mind to say.
So let me just start rambling. So we're on 96th Street between 1st Ave and 2nd Ave. So basically, Spanish Harlem is really East Harlem, right? But it's within a smaller geographic area than East Harlem. But Spanish Harlem, back in the days, not now, started from 96th Street, I would say up to 125th Street. And some would even argue that it goes further up to the 140s, right? I think it officially ends like 140 or 145th. I don't remember exactly which number it ends on. But yeah, Harlem starts from 5th Avenue all the way to the East River. I mean, Spanish Harlem is from 5th Avenue all the way to the East River. So right now we're just going up 96th Street, and we're going to turn off at a later block. I think the first thing that I can probably show or talk about is let's pass by El Museo del Barrio, and that's on Madison, and I think it's 105th or 106. I mean 107th, because I get my streets mixed up here, because everything, you know, if you live in New York City long enough, and if they don't go by numbers, the streets don't go by numbers, you're really traveling or walking based on
landmarks.
We're at now, if you can show the area real quick. Okay. This area is really bougie. You're talking about super multi-millionaires, yep, maybe even billionaires. You're talking about Madoff money. That's what's out here on this side of town. You know, especially when you start talking about Mount Sinai Hospital. Mount Sinai Hospital, you have Central Park and a few other of these places. It's pretty rich out here.
Yep.
But anyway, like the more, I guess, non-rich area, the normal Spanish Harlem is actually behind us, and it actually starts from, I want to say, the street where I don't remember the street. Is it Lexington?
I think it was.
It starts when people talk about Spanish Harlem, that's where it's really at.
That's all. I figured I would let him talk about this stuff, because again, like with me, I guess I'm more of like a landmark person. I'll be like, oh, okay, now I know where we are. If just like if you tell me what, if it's stores or museums or stuff like that, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, now I know where we are, you know. And I'll also be able to get around the area too, which is strange. But like if you tell me, like, you know where this street is, and if I know, like, if I'm gonna remember it off the top of my head and how it looks, I usually don't. I'm like the worst with like names.
Yeah, so on the right hand side you have the ICANN Medical Institute. The ICANN Medical Institute is in a way, I guess it's sort of like an extension of Mount Sinai, you know, the whole network of Mount Sinai between the hospital to the higher education. And then on the left hand side you have Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai is where you have, like, when you hear people talk about Mount Sinai, the hospital, what they're good for, what they're known for, this is the hospital that they're talking about, this Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai is on my left. You know, and these hospitals back in the day started off as being like one building or two buildings. Nowadays, these hospitals that like been around since back in the days, these hospitals are like 5-block institutions now.
Yep.
They're no longer restricted to just like one block. Not even one block. It used to be a building on a block, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like a whole complex. I might be right on where El Museo del Barrio is located. It's been so long. Oh, dude, what are you gonna do, man? You don't know where you're going?
Doesn't look like it.
So, all right. So straight ahead of us, we have Central Park. To the left and right, we have bougie residences. And I mean bougie. $30,000 fur coats and stuff like that in the wintertime.
Yeah, yep.
That's cool. Some of these people have the majority of people have masks on, even though some people are walking around with masks around their necks and not on their face for some reason.
Like this man across the street
Which
over
I don't
here.
understand. Let's see. This is the next block.
Park. This is all Central Park here on my right side. All of this is Central Park.
Yeah, and I think Museo del Barrio is right here on the left. Is it? Can you tell? I can't tell with this scaffolding that's going on.
Yeah, I can't tell either. But now that you mentioned it, I think I'm positive I've been there before. If I went, it was a long time ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right here. Right here. This is really old school shit.
See it. So much scaffolding and everything.
Oh, you can't see it.
Nah, you can't.
But this is an institution. How long has this been around? Do you remember? I think this has been around since not 79. I think this has been around since 69. El Museo.
Yeah, you can't see anything.
And
it's too much.
And it's crazy that they were able to gather all this money and open up a museum here across the street from Central Park, where the buildings here just are like super millions of dollars.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, let's get out of here. That's El Museo. We're not doing a museum tour or anything like that. What's the next place? I think the next place, let's go to
here's another one.
Yeah, that's another museum. Oh, so this is the, what is it, the mile of the museum or something like that? So this is Fifth Ave, right? This is where they hold most of the parades in New York City, the big parades. And this avenue here is also known as Avenue of the Museum. But no, it looks like they changed it. It's Museum Mile now.
Yeah, it's
Museum Mile.
I'm zooming in for them. Fifth Ave Museum Mile.
So you have the, you know, like across the street there, you have the Museum of the City of New York. Basically, they record, track, and archive things that happen in New York City, or like how life is like in New York City. That's what they do. Oh yeah, but so the next place I think is we'll go to the Graffiti Wall of Fame. And the Graffiti Wall of Fame is on 107th Street and Madison. So it's right over here somewhere. I think it's between the train tracks and Madison Ave. Oh, just find that. So 5th. I didn't see that pothole there. Boom, boom. Yeah, so you see these projects here. These projects, they've been converting it into co-ops for a long time. So I don't know how much of these are actually private versus what's public anymore. But yeah, the projects that are not being converted to co-ops is back on like 2nd Ave and 90-something streets, or 100-something, like 100, I want to say 108th, maybe. All the way up to 110th, I think they converted. No, that they haven't converted those. Oh, so it's over here. It's over here. I'll go around the block. Yeah. So we'll just go around the school. So this is the school, the Jackie Robinson Educational Complex. This is where the Graffiti Wall of Fame is located. And I find that it's very cool because they kept it at a public school, and they kept it accessible to both the artists, if you want to call graffiti artists as long as they're not vandalizing, right? And to photographers. So I don't know if you want to get out the car and take some pictures. I'm not a New York tourist like that, so. Dude,
this person is gonna let you pass or not?
He should let me pass. I think he's trying to give me space. That's why he's been inching up. Don't worry, don't worry. I'm on point. I'm on point. Park Ave, that's what it is. It's Park Ave. It's between Park and Madison. That's what the Graffiti Wall of Fame is. Is that behind us? I think it's behind us. You can't get in. Yeah, so it's in the park right there. If you can.
So it still needs to be.
So I'm trying to remember the streets where it's at, and I think it's more towards like 115th Street. Well, let's talk about this first. Let me slow down. We'll turn here. Okay. So that's pretty much it. It's inside the schoolyard. So you're not going to see much behind you.
Yeah.
You're not going to see much from this angle right there. So I guess when we turn back around, we're going to start heading into the hood. Show you how it is. And when I say hood, you know, I don't mean like a certain ethnic group or racial makeup. Because in New York, the town, even though the town is so big, is also so congested that everyone lives right next to each other and on top of each other. So it's just a shorter word for neighborhood.
And the way that they're doing a lot of these like these project buildings and whatnot, what they're trying to do is integrate people that have a lot of money with people who don't have a lot of money, and it's like they're trying to
it depends.
You know, that in a way it's like it's forcing these, you know, these different groups to live
together.
Yep.
Well, it also depends, because some of these are like based on different programs. Like it might be a Mitchell Lama, so you could get an apartment like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 maybe. And what a Mitchell Lama building basically is that while still public, they're trying to go private, right? So until they go private, the public is trying to sell it, meaning the government is trying to sell it at a lower dollar amount. Okay, you're trying to let me go. I wish you signaled that you're staying to the right. But yeah, the Mitchell Lamas are really more affordable. But do you remember Stuyvesant Town on the east side? So those apartments, though, they're selling that shit at market rate. Forget it. Forget it. What street are we on? I wasn't paying attention because I'm not used to driving.
I wasn't paying attention either.
Okay. So here comes Lexington. I guess you could say we're in the hood now. Yeah, this is, to some of you guys, this might look messed up. Some of you guys, this might not look messed up. But back in the days, this was
this was really bad.
You'll see more of stuff like that on the corner, empty lots.
Yep.
But the empty lots won't even be boarded up. It's just a straight empty lot where it looked like a building crumbled down.
Yep, there was lots of burned down buildings.
But there was a certain vibrancy that was in this neighborhood that was really known for. And what happened in the 70s, I guess all the way throughout to the 90s, in my opinion, maybe even in the early 2000s, they were just locking up the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like this neighborhood, right? Like when you walked on the street, it was just a sea of people. It was just a sea of people. But now, you know, you don't see a sea of people. You see one, two walking by like, you know, a normal street. This wasn't like that back then. I will make a left here. Let me go this way. This way.
Mark Anthony, the Frank Sinatra for Puerto Ricans.
Oh look, 109th Street, Stickball Hall of Fame place. I didn't know the street was known for stickball.
That's what he's talking about.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Me neither.
But yeah, the next street is 110th Street, Tito. Well, it's just Tito Puente way.
Yeah.
Position. If we don't want to watch where he's walking, it's okay. Tito Puente way. So like the heart of Spanish Harlem is really like, to me, 116th Street, 110th Street. That's like the heart of Spanish Harlem. But like I said, you know, you start from 96th Street, looks all bougie. Actually, it wasn't as bougie because like on 2nd Ave, 1st Ave, it wasn't that bougie back in the days. Now it is. So I guess the next street we'll pass by is 116th Street. These parks, man.
But yeah, it doesn't look like we're even by that spot, so I don't.
No, it's probably on Lexington.
Yeah.
Lexington. These outlets. Military uniform.
Nope. that's about. That's interesting.
But they're probably helping out. That's what it is. They needed the help. So.
Just speeding.
All right. So we're at 116th Street. So you know the main Puerto Rican Day Parade takes place on 5th Ave, but this is the second, not the second. This is one of the unofficial places where the other Puerto Rican Day Parade happens at that no one knows about, unless you're a native to New York. So this is 116th Street. What I said about this being like the heart of Spanish Harlem. I'm just trying to get my thoughts together where I want to go. Yeah, all right, so we'll go over here. So anyway, when you come out here, what you want to do is hit up some of these local Spanish spots. I'm saying Spanish, but back in the days it used to be Puerto Rican, but now I think a majority of them are not Puerto Rican restaurants anymore. They've been taken over by Dominicans. But there's a lot more, like, you could tell that it was like little Puerto Rico back in the days. You can't tell that anymore. No. There's what I noticed right now is that there's a lot of like Mexican owned businesses and influences right now. What?
She said, tacos.
I like tacos myself.
I think everybody does.
Yeah. So I think, is it this block? Yeah, it's this block because I see it right now. So on the left-hand side, you have one of the last cuchifrito spots in New York City, right there. Cuchifrito, right? And then I think on my right-hand side, we should be coming up on another one. Cuchifrito, frituras. Say frituras. I think that's the Dominican influence. And they used to. Oh, is it not here no more? Get the hell out of here.
Probably not.
Yo.
Yeah, everything that's Puerto Rican, including Puerto Ricans, are becoming more and more.
There was another
obsolete
cuchifrito spot. As soon as you come out the train station, right here on the right-hand side. It's not there no more. This way, because I want to show you guys what La Marqueta used to be. I don't even know if it's still around. But La Marqueta was the basically the open air vegetable stands, fruit stands that was underneath the Metro North train station, and that's along Park Ave. And it might start from 115th Street, so we might have got lucky because I'm not trying to drive around in circles and all over the place. So, okay, she's nodding her head. Somehow her cell phone was stuck to her chest. She's rocking it out, babe.
I didn't get her. Look, I didn't get her on the
La Marqueta. So like I said, back in the days, it was like the fruit stands, vegetable stands, but now it's all these bougie eateries. Nothing is wrong with bougie eateries. Right? Nothing is wrong with bougie eateries. Okay. But yeah, this is La Marqueta over here. So if you watch, like, what's the movie of El Cantante? The one with J-Lo and Mark Anthony? So this, oh my God, I forgot his name. So anyway, El Cantante, what's his name? Will something, right? No.
Hector Lavoe.
Hector Lavoe. Hector Lavoe. So yeah, that was filmed over. Not that it was filmed over here, but like the place when they walked underneath the train station and stuff like that. It would have been over here if they used, you know, like real places.
He did a good job playing Hector Lavoe, but J-Lo didn't really do the greatest job in that role, I think. Not that I got anything against J-Lo.
I liked the movie.
Yeah, it was alright.
I liked the movie. I started singing after that. Singing Spanish music. Yeah, so that's pretty much it that I can tell you about, what you call it, Spanish Harlem. What I don't want to do, because all the other things I know about, like drug treatment places, transitional housing, different housing type spots like that. Oh yeah, and also I forgot to mention, 116th Street is named after Luis Munoz Marin, one of the former governors of Puerto Rico. All right. I think that's pretty much it that I can really say. Other than that, I mean, you want to show them us going to the Bronx?
Nah, that's it. My sister-in-law's in the car with us, so you hear her every once in a while saying, tacos. That's what you hear. She's been real quiet in the back. Just anytime you mention tacos, tacos. All right, so I guess I'm gonna go. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Is there anything else you want to say? I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, that's a wrap because I forgot to even keep talking.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go for now. Bye.